That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, one of the things that gets talked about a lot in film fan circles is the current state of physical media. Physical media used to be the way you would watch movies at home. Whether you're going back to the days of VHS versus beta, the emergence of DVDs then getting HD with Blu-ray and all that kind of stuff. Like, physical media has been a thing, but it has been dying and going away. The demand for it has dropped perpetually year after year after year. And then even major producers of Blu-ray machinery stop making them. Oppo was one of the leading builders of Blu-ray players. They stopped. Then Samsung was the number one in the world of making it. They stopped. Sony stopped. And now one of the last big companies that was still making Blu-ray equipment, is ending as well. As has now been reported that LG will stop making all of its UHD Blu-ray and Blu-ray players. They're getting rid of it all too. This comes to us from Engadget, who writes the following. LG has discontinued all of its Blu-ray players, including the UBK80 and UBK90 UHD Blu-ray players, according to Flat Panel HD. Remaining stock will still be available, but the company doesn't have plans to make more. The decision isn't surprising, as LG isn't the first company to pull out of the UHD Blu-ray market. UHD Blu-ray is a separate format from standard Blu-ray, as the former has a maximum resolution of 3840 by 1260 pixels 4K. Blu-ray is 1920 by 1080 full HD. And it goes on and on to talk about how basically there's no market left. People have stopped buying these things. And most consumers in recent surveys they talk about don't even have any kind of a disc player in their house. I realized this yesterday because Ann and I were talking about this. This came up and I realized I don't have a disc player anywhere in my house. My PlayStation doesn't have a disc player. None of my laptops have disc players. My computers certainly don't have disc players. I literally don't have anything that if, you handed me and lent me a Blu-ray that I could literally put it in and play. And a lot of houses are like that. And the ones that weren't in the market to go out and buy them. I mean, if people were buying them, companies would keep making them because they want to make money. But they weren't making money. That's why Oppo, Samsung, now LG, they're just getting out of making them all together. Chris, there have been some signs. Some people have been saying like, oh, this Steelbook got released and it sold pretty well. But it sold pretty well by modern sales standards, not by what sales standards of physical media was like 8 years ago. Yeah. I feel like every couple of months something else happens where we go, this is yet another sign that physical media is dying. But is this yet another sign that physical media is dying? How do you take it?
Of course it is. Of course it is. If you can't play it, how are you going to watch it? All of this technology is getting just axed and going the way of the dodo. It's not going to exist anymore. And it's really just troubling from a kind of archival standpoint too. If you love something that's on a streaming service, they're going to take it off at some point.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be able to see that show ever again. And we've talked about this before where, some of the Disney Plus shows that haven't performed well, the actors on that were devastated afterwards of just, I can't even show that to anyone anymore. Though.
Yeah, Willow's one of them, right? Like they pulled Willow, which for good reason.
Which it didn't deliver. But it was still just you have no proof of what you did.
Yeah.
Maybe you personally loved that. Maybe this was a passion project of yours. Nothing's made of it though. So where's your kind of proof of that you did that? I think it's also really just disheartening if you're a big fan of something and you want to be able to watch these things. How are you going to tune into them? All of the physical media that you've collected is going to be absolutely irrelevant if you're, Blu-ray player busts and you can't buy a new one. Or they're going to just run into people who are doing specialty shops who are going to be able to, fix these things for you, but at an astronomical price, which, you have to then weigh out, is it worth it for that? It just... Overall, and I say this as somebody who mostly streams, and I have a very limited physical media catalog in my own home, just because it does take up so much space. I'm a monster, and I keep them in those 90s CD display things. Yeah, that's how I store them.
The flip book?
The flip book, because I lived in studios for so long. Yeah. So having, 30 DVDs took up a chunk of space. But it's really upsetting, though, when you can't watch something that you absolutely adore and want to see again. follow me on this journey, you guys, because I'm obsessed with the Muppets. But for a while, it was like this issue with Muppet Christmas Carol.
Right.
There was a scene taken out that you could not see. And bless Disney Plus, because they did put that on there. If you watch the full version, you can see this song that's in there. But for years, there was media being made that had that just cut out of it, and you felt like you had some kind of fever dream as a kid. Like, did I take ayahuasca before I went and saw the theater? What happened? But now there's going to be, if that gets taken off of Disney Plus, you're never going to be able to see that scene again. And that's the kind of stuff that makes me sad, is just, there's going to be absolute media that is non-existent. And it's devastating.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've always talked about this. There are two separate discussions to have. The discussion of should not DVD, but should physical media go away versus is physical media go away?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm sorry, it is. It is going away. I mean, there's no denying that. But that doesn't mean I think it should. I mean, there are some true benefits, and you were talking about those. Like, the only way you're like in an era right now, but the way licensing works and residuals and all that kind of stuff, sometimes a company will say, it's just not worth it for us to have that on streaming, and they're just going to take it away. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, where'd that go? And there's no real permanent way to have it. And I really hope that somehow, some way, the industry evolves to the point where they figure this problem out. Willow got pulled, right? And there's no way somebody can watch it now. Like, what happens if you buy a movie and then that company that you bought it from goes out of business? What happens to that purchase you made? They got to figure out a way that there are safeguards in place, but I don't know the answer to it. Maybe somebody will. But again, this is another sign. LG, guys, is getting out of the business of making Blu-ray players. That's another one down. I don't know if there's anybody left making them. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Aura. Let's be honest, what most people really want for the holidays is to see their favorite people more often. That's why this year, the best gift you can give, besides plane tickets, is an Aura digital picture frame. Named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter, Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. Ann and I have had ours for a while now, and we absolutely love it. Because you may not know, Ann and I like to take a lot of pictures, including a lot of our dogs, Ann's recent trip to Paris, and a whole bunch of other things. And we love having it right on display right there in our living room. So save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get 35% off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code Campea at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code Campea. This deal is exclusive to listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. Whatever you guys think about this whole thing, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.